shorthand, and then I'm a voice writer, and we speak faster than we steno. So now voice writing is becoming the more accepted track as far as people with what they want to do, as far as what path they want to take as far as being a court reporter. And so I actually first started off, it wasn't even 10, well, the 10 years is coming up. But I went in there like, yeah, I'm going to be a steno writer, you know, I'm going to sit on down and I'm going to have my legs crossed, honey, and I'm going to be up in the front of the courtroom. This, honey, all eyes on me. It didn't work out like that. I did start off as a steno student, and I got severe carpal tunnel to the point where I went to an orthopedic hand doctor. I couldn't even flex my head. It was just contracted like that. So I had a severe case of carpal tunnel. And then I had to, my doctor at the time was like, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm a steno student at Brown College of Court Reporting. He's like, well, you're going to have to switch to something else or drop out. And I'm like, wait a minute, I don't drop out. You know what I'm saying? I graduated from college. I'm a Delta. I don't give a dang, honey. I don't. So I was like, oh my gosh, I got to do that little crazy voice writing program. Oh, the horror. I got to speak in that mask like I'm breathing or something. And it ended up being the best thing ever. Like, it was the best thing ever, that I'm so happy that I am a voice writer, and it is now becoming a more accepted way of taking down testimony in courts and in depositions. You still have your steno writers. However, a lot of them are older, becoming arthritic, carpal tunnel, things that I'm seeing them wear for their wrist, and they've been in this profession for 30 years. So guess what? They're going to be wanting to retire soon. 30 years, and I've been in it for 10, and I'm sure I don't look that much older than, you probably think, oh, how old are you? Well, I started, I'm 40, but I started this when I was, the whole track when I was 30. But a lot of the court reporters are retiring, so it's like those are going to be positions that are going to be needing to be filled. And that's you, that's you, that's you. I mean, as soon as you finish school and you become certified, you're going to get work right away. And that is what drew me when I heard that 10 years ago, when I went to my first open house, which is your open house. But I went to my first open house, the only open house was on, it was in November of 2018, November of 2008. November of 2008 is when I began this where you are right here. And it starts right here with the seed being sown. I got to plant the seed in you to see why should I be coming to Brown College of Court Reporting. Especially me, I had graduated from a 4-year college. I went to Bethune-Cookman College in Daytona Beach, Florida. I was born in Ohio, but went down to Florida for school. My major, I didn't like how it was going, which was journalism. And I just didn't feel like Daytona Beach was for me. I want to go somewhere up the top. You know what I'm saying? So I ended up going to Morgan State University, graduating from Morgan State University with a degree in marketing and public relations. I wanted, after finishing school, I became a Baltimore City school teacher because I couldn't find anything in my major. I worked for the Baltimore Ravens in their public relations intern program for 4 seasons. So I have, experience in the NFL world. And people are like, why you wouldn't stay? Because I just didn't feel fulfilled. I felt like it was a good old boy society. Like I just couldn't manage, and I wasn't going to be struggling. And to the point where it's like where it is now, like, oh, okay, wait. It's like I'm glad I got out of it. And so when I moved from Baltimore to here to Atlanta, I was a marketing director. And so I was doing that from 2005, and then 2008 came along, and I was like, I'm feeling so unfulfilled in my career of marketing. Oh my gosh, but what do I want to do? I need something that's going to be fulfilling, and what is my passion? I didn't know, and I was literally crying out to family members. And so I had an aunt who sent me an article with the top 5 jobs. They're in high demand, but people don't really know about the jobs, but they pay great money. And so that was in 2008. So it was like early November, and it's on the list with court reporting, and I'm thinking like, oh, okay, reporting live from court. And I'm like, okay, I got a background in journalism, but that wasn't what it is. And so I did research, Google what is court reporter, what is a court reporter, and it's these are the things that stood out for me. If you like words, grammar, punctuation, legal terminology, medical terminology, current events, if you're attentive, if you can deal with high stress situations, if you can meet deadlines, spelling is your strength, being communicative, being just a lot of things that English, punctuation, grammar, those were the things that stood out to me because it was everything opposite of math because I'm horrible in math. And so I was like, wait a minute, hold on, wait a minute, let me think about that. I was doing spelling bees in the 3rd grade now. Come on now. I always like to read out loud in the 6th grade and do the punctuation, and I always was interested in what a comma does, and I was always interested in independent clauses and dependent clauses and coordinating conjunctions. All of it was coming back, but I realized that was just the beginning of it, you know. I then found out, okay, well, what does it take to become this court reporter chick or dude? And I was like, okay, wait a minute. They take down everything that's said in the courtroom. Like, they really put together these big books with numbers on them. They really do all of this. Like, wow, that is a big responsibility. But damn, they getting paid. What? Wait a minute. They're getting paid what? For what? For only going to school for 2 years or 2.5 years, or depending upon what your motivation is or the things that are going on in your life, you will finish sooner or later than some others. The thing is, you have to do the research. What is a court reporter? What do? What are the options? You have court reporters that take down, and when we say take down, they take down the testimony, they take it down in depositions. So they'll go into these big law firms, at the tall buildings, here, where we are, Spring Street, Peachtree. Honey, I done made my best money, honey, up in these buildings up on Peachtree, because the law firms are big. You never heard of them. They have money. And what drew me in is when the court reporters that were court reporters, and I was just where you are, they kept talking about the money aspect of it. And I was like, it is, and I realized that it is a respected career. Like, oh my gosh, it's a dying career. It's a dying career. And what do we have to do? We have to tell people about it, because a lot of people don't know that that is an actual person up there taking down everything that you're saying. And that's somebody's life. That's testimony. You have to get it right. You have to get it. That is your job, and that's what I do for a living. I talk for a living. This is my tool, my voice. So when I'm sick, it affects me. So the tool that steno writers are, because I'm not going to leave out I'm team steno and team voice, because I started off as steno. So I know what it's like. It's like playing the piano and learning Mandarin at the same time. It's a whole different language. And it's okay. It's so fun, because you will have a skill like none other when you are a steno writer, because of how it's just a certain, it's a beautiful, it's a love-hate relationship, but you will love it more than anything because it will get you paid. But guess what? Steno and voice writers, we get paid the same thing. No one asks me, well, do you get paid more as a voice writer, steno writer? Neither. Are you certified? That's what they want to know. Are you certified? Can you handle the business? Can you get my testimony down? Can you create a transcript and put it in the proper form? Because if you do, you will be well rewarded. I have a plethora of experience. My knowledge in what I know in medical terminology, when I go to hospitals and I need to speak to a doctor, I'm speaking the language of a doctor, because I've taken down medical malpractice trials, and I've learned, and I just have I can keep up with a conversation with the doctor to the point where they look at me like, are you a nurse? I'm like, no, I'm a court reporter. And even then, it's even more respect. They're like, oh, so you're the one that, I say, well, I'm the one that, there's a newer technology out there where we're speaking and everything comes up on my computer screen of what I say. I look at this, I'm looking at this all day long, and I'm speaking in here all day long, but it is a skill to be in here because you don't want to be too loud, because if you're too loud, it's a disturbance to, and you're supposed to be like you're not there. It's supposed to be like you're not there. That's, you know. And then if you do this, this is a skill. This is your tool. You got to take care of this. And some people can make it through, but me, I couldn't make it through because it's like we still got to work with our hands when we get home. We got to wash the dishes, turn the doorknobs, drive the car. But me, I can hold up a sign and say, I'm not talking today. I'm resting my voice today. Or I can, you know. But other than that, I'm saving my voice to be into this right now. But when I came to the open house, I was very interested because we were just getting over the Brian Nichols situation. The Brian Nichols situation, I'm not sure if you all remember the Brian Nichols situation. I know it seems like a long time ago, but I do remember in that situation. I just was in awe of the court reporter that sat up in the front, and she was just doing this and getting all of it down, and I'm just, the news, I would look and watch and like, who is that person up front? Didn't know who she was. Fast forward, I find out she's the person, the court reporter sitting up front during the open house, so I already had this, you know, I can't even remember her name, I just know that I was just so in awe at her, and you know, it had nothing to do with her being at TV. It just looked like she had a lot of power. It looked like she controlled a lot of things. And I'm like, oh man, what is that? And found out that it was a court reporter. And I'm like, yo, I can be a court reporter. You know, I can hold down some things. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we do. Because sometimes my judge will say something that I'm not quite sure it's right. And I'll say, Judge, for the record, did you mean to say 2018? Because it says on my real time you said 2008. I heard 2008. And she'll be like, thank you, Madam Court Reporter. And she'll go back and she'll have to switch that, because that somebody can come back and say, oh, okay, wait a minute. Look, he said this happened in 2008, but it was really 2018. But it's my job to be that attentive to say, Judge, did you mean 2018? Because you said 2008 on the record. And that just happened last week. And so, and it's a thrill to be called Madam Court Reporter, while everyone else is being called Mr. or Miss. You know, there are two people that the courts can't start without. The court can't start without the judge, and court definitely cannot start without the court reporter, because who's going to take down the first word that the judge says? So guess who really court can't start without? You, a court reporter. Court can't start without me. I am the most important person in the court, and I say that with all humbleness. But your judge, it can't say, the bailiff can't say all rise if the court reporter is not there to repeat all rise and say pirk. And that means put a period at the end. All rise, period, okay? Be seated, I say be seated, period, okay? I'm saying all of that. I'm putting in punctuation, commas, and you'll learn that in Brown College of Court Reporting. Trust and believe. I was good at English and writing and spelling, but nothing. You think your child knows English, and I'm not here to offend anybody's children, but you think your child may think they are writing the best paper, but I'm sure if I took your child's paper, it'd be all types of red marks. I don't have to be a teacher, because guess what? It's a whole bunch of teachers out there that don't know how to punctuate. They don't know how to write, and you'll learn something from me. You're going to leave here learning something. You'll learn something. Like I'm telling you this right now. Like I know you see it all the time. All rights written as ALRIGHT. That is not how you spell all right, and I know you see it. But if it is not written like all wrong, right, then this is how we remember it. If it's not written like all right, all ALL space RIGHT. So if it's not written like all right, then it's all wrong. Because you wouldn't put ALWRONG together for all wrong. You see what I'm saying? And that's one thing that you will leave here with something under your belt. Is I did learn something at Brown College of Court Reporting, honey. I learned that all right is not written as ALRIGHT. It is written as ALL space RIGHT. And how you remember that is, and this is how I remembered it here at school, if it's not written as in two words, all right, then it is all wrong. So now y'all can start writing AL space ING. And people are going to be looking at you crazy and see people on our people like, well, how do you write it like how Kevin Hart said? See, Kevin Hart, I know the all right, you know. First of all, that wasn't his. That was Matthew McConaughey's for a movie he did way back in the day. But all right is spelled and punctuated all, because y'all reading from this, all right, comma, all right, comma, all right. That's how you punctuate and say all right, and that is one of the things you learn here. Then that OK is not written O and K. That's Oklahoma. That's the and when you correct people, they'll be like I'm constantly correcting people, but I'm like, but I'm teaching you, and you should be embracing this, because there's a lot of people that don't know, and it's getting worse as we get older, and as I see things happening in social media. They don't know how to do contractions. You know, everything. They don't know where to put the periods. They don't know where to put the commas. They don't even know what it is. They don't know what the purpose and use is for. You'll get all of that knowledge here. So don't let it discourage you, like, oh, well, I don't know how to write sentences. No, you'll get all of that here. That's why you got to take the classes to get it. And I love what I do. I'm so happy that, because I read the article. The article said in 10 years there's going to be a court reporter shortage. Well, that was 2008. I don't like living my life in woulda, coulda, shoulda. I wonder where I could be if I would have started in January of 2009, because I started the winter quarter, January 2009, after I signed up at the open house. I signed up at the open house. I knew it was for me. I said, I need something to sustain me. I need something that's going to have full benefits. And I didn't know it was going to come with the extra stuff. Like, I have pension. How many people have pension now? You know, nobody has pension. They're getting jobs that offer pension. That's what you remember with General Motors and things like that. But I work for the county, and so that's available to me. It's just stability. It's just constant income coming in. And I'm just so happy that it took, like, it was this school, because I was like, well, what's the nearest court reporting school? And I at the time, I was living in Brookhaven, and it was only 7 miles from me. People were coming in from Alabama, driving in from Alabama every morning to take the classes here at Brown, and then leaving to go back to Alabama after they finished the, whatever their last afternoon class was. And I didn't know. I was like, okay, I didn't know it was such a jewel. It was such a jewel, because now, like, I know the difference to those who didn't go to court reporting school, who tried to be self-taught, and those who went to Brown. I know the difference in the ones who have not gone to Brown, the ones who have not gone to Brown, but they're self-taught or maybe got some education somewhere else. I'll still ask them, can you please fill in for me? But guess what? I'm probably not going to be able to call them again, because they weren't trained. Like, Brown gives you the training that you need. And I remember being at open house, and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't want to have to go through financial aid again. But when I thought about the income that you make, you kind of pay it back. You kind of pay back your student loans. But I have more student loans because I went to undergrad, so I still have kind of like an underwater thing. But as far as schooling from Brown College of Court Reporting, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm able to pay this back, especially with, I made one trial. From one trial alone, like, you can do many trials in a year, but from one trial alone, but my first big trial, I was only certified for a year and a half. But I was told by some mentors, when you get a big medical malpractice trial, take it. Take that medical malpractice trial, because that is the best income to be made through just through how you get paid, how transcripts are ordered, because we get paid through per page rates. Those per page rates adds up, especially when certain attorneys, you add up that thing. But when my very, very first trial, and listen, they don't come that often, but when they do, you take them, it was $15,000. That was from one trial. And I had another trial the following month, and I made about $10,000 from that trial. And it's things like that where I'm like, wow, that's possible. Is it really? And I didn't know it was possible until I got into the mix. And getting into the mix is, okay, let me sign up for this court reporting school thing, you know, and I didn't want to, but I did, and I'm so glad I did. But everybody's journey is different. I didn't have kids. I didn't have a husband. Just had a dog and like a cat or something. I didn't have a lot of distractions. However, I had classmates that had way more distractions than I did. I had one classmate, her husband had passed away while she was in school. He had committed suicide. Okay, but she kept going, and now she's been a court reporter for just as long as I have. It's like you gotta keep going. What's for you is for you. You know what you want to do. Because a lot of people come here and saying, I don't know if I want to do this or not. But my classmate, my oldest classmate, or our oldest graduate, I believe, was in her 60s, and she's constantly working now. You can do this job up to your 70s, 80s, as long as you have your hearing, your senses, your eyes. As long as you stay certified every year, you're going to have work. And you can either be a court reporter in a court where I have a set salary, benefits, things get ordered for me like paper and pens and all of that, and exhibit stickers. However, I at first started off as an independent contractor. I was my own individual person, calling out to court reporters, hi, if you need some time off, I'm available to fill in for you. Yeah, I should have did that. My degree is in marketing and public relations. I need to market myself. I'm marketing for everybody else's company. I need to market for myself. And I became Danica Clay Court Reporting Services. I'm an S corporation. I literally am an S corporation. So I needed to do that for tax purposes. So there's a lot of things that are other than the court reporting side. You got to get into kind of like you are now a business. So I had to save all receipts, and I had to get a great tax person, and didn't realize that I could write off this, that, the third, where I live at, phone, eating expenses, because it had to do with court reporting, my business. However, I didn't have health insurance, you know. But there are a lot of court reporters that are out there that are independent that don't mind not having health insurance on their own because they're on their spouse's health insurance. So they don't mind being independent contractor. Me, I wanted to work in court after being independent contractor. So I said, oh my gosh, I need health insurance and I need it soon. And that's when I started working in the court. So you have two types of ways you can go. And then I don't know if you all know this, but when you see the news, the closed captioning at the bottom, that's a court reporter. That's a court reporter. He or she is either speaking in a mask, and we do have a voice writer. She's so great. Her name is Karen Broom, and she does that. And I think she also follows students for the deaf and hard of hearing. So you can be that type of court reporter. But closed captioning, you can have a steno writer doing that or a voice writer. So that's why what you see on the bottom of the screen also. So we are pulled in many directions, and that's why there's such a shortage, because working in court may not be for everybody. Working in a deposition environment and traveling to different attorneys' offices every day or several times a week may not be your thing. And sitting at home in your jammies may not be your thing so that the closed caption, because that's what you do, you're at home. I think you have like a feed or something on your head or something. I'm not quite sure, but that's what the point I'm trying to make is there's different ways you can go. You just don't have to sit in court. You just don't have to sit in a deposition to do this. This technology of being a voice writer is not new. It's been out for quite some time. Where's Erica? Erica? What's up?
She's not here.
Erica's not here?
She's not.
Who's supposed to be doing this?
Oh, I will if you need me to do it for you.
Y'all getting on my nerve. Okay. But y'all really not.
Okay.
Y'all make me feel like I ain't doing nothing right.
Listen, hey, no worries. That's why I'm here.
Wait a minute. Because I want to let them know. Oh, wait.
You just click. There's no screen. You just gotta click. Yeah.
Click
there.
where? Oh, click them.
Yeah, there it is.
Oh, okay. So I do want to tell, but that's my whole gist. But I don't like to be too much on I don't like to go too much on script because I want to let you know the realness. You know what I'm saying? But there are some things on here that you should know. When I'm speaking in my voice writer mask, and I'm going to speak how I speak from my mask, because people are like, what are you doing? What are you saying in that thing? And so you'll see me I'm about to read aloud, but when you see me, when I'm in court, this is what I'm looking like. And you know, it's quite funny because I get a lot of questions from people. Are you breathing in that thing? Are you all right? You need help with, no, I'm fine. I'm taking down everything that's being said. You're taking everything. And then I start repeating after them. You're taking everything down. They pause. And I pause. And they say, so you mean? And I say, so you mean? And they be like, they'll pause. And they be like, so you take it. And I'm like, so you take that. And they be like, Kim, I'm like, I'm taking everything that's being said, every interruption. So in my mask, I'm sounding like this. This is what my software understands. Most students entering the court reporting world have not heard about voice writing Pirk. Welcome to an awesome journey, Pirk. In court reporting, we don't put exclamation points. We keep our, we shouldn't be letting people know if something's exciting or not. It should just be very, we are non-biased. We're either for the plaintiff or the defendant. We are just boom, right here. So it would be a Pirk here, but that's when we go in and edit things and take out the exclamation point and put in a period. So that's how I'm sounding when I'm in my mask. The method of court reporting known as voice writing, CA, formerly called stenomask, CA, was developed by Horace Webb in the World War II era. Pirk should be a period after that. CA, when I say CA, that is that's for comma. So you want to stay as, you want to take away the syllables as much as possible, comma versus CA. So I've saved one syllable to keep up with the speaker. And there, yes, there should be a period there, but no worries. The dictation process alone requires 2 hours for every 1 hour of testimony. Pirk, Mr. Webb wanted to create a recording method that allowed court reporters to dictate directly during proceedings, CA, eliminating the shorthand process altogether. So, yeah. Yes, something. Pirk, did somebody say Pirk? Yes, you better be learning something, honey. And so, I'm going to read on. Using the voice writing method, CA, a court reporter speaks directly into a speech silencer, a handheld mask containing 1 or 2 microphones and voice damping materials. Pirk. So this is my steno mask, and I have a microphone in here, and that's why you don't have to speak loud because it's so sensitive. And you would learn as a voice writer to speak in a very monotone voice, what's comfortable for you. Sometimes if I have a code, I'm sounding like this. Voice writing method, a court reporter speaks directly into a speech silencer, a handheld. Like I can get like that if I'm sick. That's why I don't like to be sick, because I can't hardly speak into it. They also have an external sound digitizer, CA, a laptop CA, speech recognition software. Open paren, like this, I would say open paren, that means an open parentheses, and I didn't know that before I came to court reporting school. Dragon, naturally speaking, closed paren, meaning closed parentheses, and cat software. These are different types of software. Voice writers, we usually use total Eclipse software, while the steno writers will use the cat software. But there are some steno writers that use total Eclipse software. And using the software is something you will learn in school also. A real-time voice writer. Real-time meaning I'm taking down everything that's being said at that moment, real time. Because people are like, well, why can't you just record it? Like put up a recorder. That's not real time. And things happen with the recording. The recording could stop and you don't know it. Battery could die. Anything could happen. Rustling of papers. And it will disrupt the audio of, or the audio of what the court reporter hears versus what the recorder hears. You can't tell the audio can't say, can you repeat that? I apologize, I didn't get that. But a court reporter, that's why we need live court reporters, such as yourself, to say, I apologize, I didn't, can you repeat that again, counselor? Thank you. And he'll repeat that. And it requires a bit of confidence also. You can't be like, excuse me. Can't do that. Gotta be tough out here, okay? Y'all starting to see how I really am with these attorneys, honey. Get my Red Bull. I can have a Red Bull. Court reporter can eat Red Bulls, honey. Yes. Yes, I need a Red Bull because this is supposed to be my day of working on transcripts, but I'm talking. So today's supposed to be my voice rest day, but it's not popping off like that. But it's okay. That's why I'm here. Hey, yes, darling. Perfect. A real-time voice writer's words go through the mask cable, so it goes through here. Those words go into speech, to computers on my computer screen for the voice recognition. So I'm gonna give you an example. My judge will say, attorneys approach the bench. I say attorneys, because a comma goes after that. Attorneys, comma, approach the bench, period. But my software will hear attorneys, approach the bitch. You see what I'm saying? So you have to kind of like bench, bitch. So it's like it's very sensitive when it comes to long and short vowel sounds. Short vowel sound is the of the e, and then the short vowel sound of the I, long I, but the short vowel sound is it. So bitch, bench. So that's why that's why people say when you pronounce your words, you say them very all the way out. That's because I'm a voice writer, and it's just become a habit now. And you may see I'm all doing like this. That's how I'm speaking in my mask, because it's literally, this is my whole tool right here, my voice and my mouth, to speak into here. Okay. The words going to speak on my computer screen, and then that's when I have to go in and edit things from bitch to bench. Okay. It can go through an internet, a computer file, television station. That's the closed captioning I was telling you about. The end user who is reading the captions, they can look at it from their laptop, so my judge can see what comes up onto my computer screen, such as judges, attorneys, consumers, and things of that sort. Voice writers enjoy very high accuracy rates, so pretty much it's very accurate, especially if you're speaking and saying everything to the best of your ability like that. Based upon, but you can still have a Southern slang. I mean, we did, or an Indian slang. One of my best classmates, he was from the country India, so he had a very thick Indian accent. However, his software understood what he was saying. So you don't have to. It will understand it when you train it. It's a training process. Okay. The streamlined process allows voice writers to achieve excellent performance for many continuous hours and greater than 98%. So I'm certified at 250 words per minute. That is no longer the test to pass. It's gone down to 225. So that's pretty much keek and cack. So keek is question. When I say keek, a Q will come up, and when I say cack, an A marker. So question, where are you from? Cack, I'm from California. Keek, where are you from? Cack, I'm from Ohio. Keek, how old are you? Cack, I'm 40. Keek, do you have any children? Cack, no. Keek, are you married? Cack, yes. So that's what a court reporter does. I'm taking everything, and those Q markers will come up. So it definitely is a hearing process and just being on it, just being very attentive. The software, this basically tells you what the software will turn all of that speech you say and put it on your computer screen. You will learn to hear what is being said, hold it in your brain, then say what you heard in a matter that Dragon, the software, or Total Eclipse accepts it so that it accurately transcribes. So like what I said, you hear it. When you hear it, you hold it, say it. That's what you would do as a voice writer. But with steno, is you hear it, steno it, and hear it, hear it, hold it, and then steno, but we use our voice. Okay? So hear, hold, say. And that's what you'll learn in school. And basically that's what we do. We repeat things. I'm a parrot, I repeat. So how you can see if it's for you is you can go in your car and try listening to the Clark Howard show, or C-SPAN, or something on the computer, something in the radio in your car, it's like a talk show, and try to keep up with them. Try to see if you know where the periods go. If you don't, that's understandable. You'll learn it here. And I'm so happy I do this, honey. I'm able to definitely tell people. I also like edit papers for people and stuff like that. So that's a skill you can continue to take on with you. Are we almost? It's time to wrap it up. But we're wrapping it up. But I hope that you. I don't like to go too far on all of this, because I want to tell you about my life, my experiences, and lead you in and show you briefly what the slideshow is about. but just hoping that the seed has been planted and that you will consider. Man, I'm telling you, we need court reporters. Sometimes I'm frustrated. I can't take off. I have 400 hours worth of vacation hours. I can't take off because I can't find a court reporter. And I'm like, where are these people, this students, this open house? That's why I was like, I would love to come and speak to y'all, to give the passion to y'all to see if this is for you or not. Because even if it may not be for you, talk to other